Look up. What do you see? Nothing? That is because you are still thinking with eyes that evolved for the Stone Age. The sky is not empty. It is a grid. It is a hunting ground. The old rules of survival are dead and buried. You think the night is your friend? You think shadows offer sanctuary? That is a fatal nostalgia. In this new reality, darkness is transparent. While you crouch in the brush, confident in your silence, a sensor drifting 2,000 feet above is locked onto the heat radiating from your skull. To a thermal optic, your camouflage pattern is a joke. Your expensive tactical gear is useless vanity. All the machine sees is a burning 98-degree beacon cutting through the cold background radiation. You are not a person anymore. You are a walking contrast spike, a high-priority signal on a monochromatic display. You are glowing, and things that glow get extinguished. The moment you exhale warm air, you are shouting your coordinates to the sky. Your own biology is the traitor. The blood keeping you alive is the very thing painting a target on your back. You want to see the sunrise? Then stop acting like prey. Stop trusting your eyes. It is time to learn how to disappear from the spectrum that matters. Let's dissect the mechanism of your demise. The optic circling above operates in the long-wave infrared spectrum, typically 8 to 14 microns. It is blind to color. It is blind to shadows. It detects radiation intensity. To the machine, you are not a human. You are a thermodynamic event. The sensor reads the infrared energy emitting from your skin and converts it into a digital image based on temperature differences. This is the only variable that matters, delta T. Delta T is the contrast between your surface temperature and the background. The greater the differential, the faster you die. On a cold night, the ground might be 40 degrees while your face is 90. To a thermal sensor, you are a magnesium flare in a dark room. The operator toggles to white hot and you render as bright white against a dull gray landscape. Toggles to black hot and you are a sharp, dark void. There is no visual noise to hide you. You are a signal in the static. Forget the movies. Coating yourself in cold mud is a temporary delay, not a solution. Your body is a biological furnace, pumping blood to the surface. That heat conducts into the mud, warms it, and the thermal barrier collapses. You reappear on the screen, only now you are wet, miserable, and dead. The same applies to heavy clothing. Insulation slows heat transfer. It does not stop it. Eventually, your outer layer warms up higher than the ambient air. You become a fuzzy blob. But to an AI targeting system, a blob is enough for a kinetic strike. You cannot turn off your body heat. Stop metabolizing and you are a corpse. But you can manipulate presentation. The sensor relies on a line of sight to the radiation source. It assumes you radiate heat outwards. We will break that assumption. We won't stop the heat. We will misdirect it. Stop thinking about visual concealment. Start thinking about thermodynamics. The machine expects a biological signature. We will give it a void. But first, here is the error that seals your fate. The novice grabs a cheap emergency blanket and wraps himself up tight. He thinks he is clever. He thinks he has erected a force field. In reality, he is just packaging himself for easier disposal. This is the burrito configuration, and it is the most common way to fail. Mylar is a powerful tool, yes. It reflects radiant heat, but physics is not a buffet where you pick and choose the rules. You cannot ignore the law of conduction. Here is the mechanics of your failure. When you press that metallic sheet against your skin or your clothing, you create a direct thermal bridge. Contact negates reflection. Your body heat travels instantly from your core, through your layers, and soaks into the foil. The material is microscopic in thickness. It possesses zero insulation value. It acts as a conductor, not a barrier. Within minutes, that silver shield reaches thermal equilibrium with your body. To the drone operator staring at a monitor miles away, the result is pathetic. You do not disappear. You do not fade. You simply change texture. Instead of a soft biological glow, you become a sharp, crinkling, high-contrast flare. You have effectively turned a camouflage tool into a signal mirror. The foil warms up, and because it is now the same temperature as you, it radiates infrared energy into the atmosphere. You are walking through the dark, convinced you are a ghost, but to the thermal optic, you look like a supernova. You have amplified your signature. This is what happens when you rely on gear without understanding the science. Contact is the enemy. Forget the wrap. Construct a thermal shield. To defeat the optic, you must sever the link between your heat source and the shield. You need a thermal standoff. This is the cold ghost protocol. You are not wrapping, you are building a screen. Find rigid material, scavenged branches, trekking poles, debris. Construct a frame that sits away from your body. You need a hard air gap of at least 6 to 12 inches. Air is the insulator. Air stops the conduction. If that sheet touches your shoulder for even a second, the illusion breaks. Attach the mylar to this frame using tape or paracord. It must be taut. It must be independent of your movement, but the gap is only half the equation. The geometry is the rest. If you hold that sheet vertically, you are a flat mirror reflecting the warm air around you. You need to angle the screen back at a 45-degree slant towards the sky. Think about the physics of the observer. The drone looks down from above. Its sensor hits your slanted mylar sheet. Because the material is highly reflective to IR radiation, the sensor's vision bounces off the surface like a light beam off a mirror. Where does that reflection go? It bounces down into the dirt in front of you. The sensor reads the temperature of the reflection. The ground is ambient. The ground is cold. The drone looks right at your position, but it sees the thermal signature of the soil. You have become a patch of empty earth. You are hiding behind a mirror that reflects the void. Physics is law, but timing is everything. Your equipment is dialed. Now you need to dial in the planet. The sun is a massive radiation pump. It heats the earth all day. At night, the earth radiates that heat back. But twice every 24 hours, a phenomenon occurs that blinds the machine gods. This is the thermal crossover. It happens at dawn and at dusk. For a fleeting window, the ambient temperature of the terrain rises or falls to perfectly match the temperature of the objects within it. The contrast collapses. Delta T drops to 0. On the operator screen, the world turns into a flat, featureless gray wash. The trees, the rocks, and you, everything is the same shade. The sensor cannot differentiate. In these moments, you can move. You can traverse open ground. The atmosphere itself is your camouflage. Do not waste these minutes. When the crossover ends, you need physical barriers. Look for glass. To your eyes, a window is transparent. To a long-wave IR sensor, silica glass is a brick wall. Thermal energy does not pass through it. It stops dead. If you are scavenging in an urban zone, stay behind the panes. You can watch the drone hover outside, but it cannot see the heat signature inside. You are a fish in a tank, invisible to the cat. The operator sees the reflection of the street, not the survivor in the room. Finally, understand the canopy. A single bush is not cover. It is a frame. The drone sees right through sparse foliage. You need density. You need water. Leaves are full of moisture, and water is an excellent absorber of thermal radiation. A thick, multi-layered canopy acts as a thermal sponge. It blocks the line of sight and absorbs your heat before it reaches the sky. Do not hide behind vegetation. Hide under the biological roof. If you can see the sky can see your heat. Bury yourself deep, where the satellites cannot pry. Use the terrain. Use the physics. Make the environment do the work for you. Technology is not magic, it is just engineering. It is a tool, and like any tool, it can be broken. You have stripped away the myth of the all-seeing eye. You understand now that a simple sheet of aluminized plastic rigged with the correct geometry can defeat a $1 million sensor suite. You are no longer a helpless target scuttling in the dark, hoping for mercy from a machine that knows none. You are a cold ghost. You control the radiation. You control the signature. The drone is searching for a biological fire, but you have become nothing but ice and reflection. Let them scan the grid. Let them toggle their filters. They will find nothing but the cold ground and the empty wind. The hunt is over because the prey has ceased to exist. You have the physics. You have the method. Now, disappear.